Hello, this is Alina. Today, we will be doing a very interesting job. I always want to show some kind of buns. Excuse me, I'm just wiping my eyes. Hello to all the haters who fall into a swoon from dirty feet. Well, today we will talk about various trinkets. Here, we have a beauty mole, which is even 25 years old. Just imagine, there are people who are 25 years old, and there are moles that are just as old. By the way, this strange callus probably formed from a salt plaster because the person practices self-medication. In general, he has been suffering from this for a long time, and it's very painful. But just imagine, I don't know, if you had a screw twisted in, that is, you simply can't step on your foot. And this corn has gone very deep into the deep layers of the skin, much further than the usual corns that we show you. And here are just real archaeological excavations. At least considering the age of this event, the method by which the corn is now removed, we learned it in Moscow. They teach him, a scalpel is needed for him, pieces like these special ones, and tweezers. I will definitely leave a link to the tools. We usually hold the corn with tweezers and trim it with clippers. There are ways of filing and many others. We usually prefer this technique, but it's not the only correct one. It's just one of them, but it's convenient for us. And everything comes out in one big piece in plastic. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about moles, what they are, why they form, and in general, what kind of creature this is. Moles, essentially, are a protective reaction of the skin because it thickens exactly in the place where there is constant systematic pressure. And judging by the amount of skin, you can understand that the pressure was really huge. By the way, this man was brought by his daughter because she really wants to help him. She's tired of watching him self-medicate and not getting any results, so she decided to turn to us. The depth here is very large, and all because he works at a power station and he has a uniform, which includes special shoes. In general, it's very tough. Most likely because of this, there are such problems. Only after we cut everything, we still have to trim. As you can see, there is still depth left. Still need to work further, because there is still old dry cloth left, which will cause discomfort and a small blister from the salt pod. Further, all this needs to be smoothed out so that nothing gets caught, and to remove the maximum amount of unnecessary old dry skin. From the stories I know, he even tried to apply aloe, but some kind of allergy started on it and even swelled his foot. In general, let's avoid self-activity and self-healing, because you never know what it can turn into. Moreover, in our modern high-tech age, everything has already been invented, and podiatrists have the tools to remove corns. But this little one is very small. Well, the difference is just obvious. Nevertheless, there are at least 2 of them, and we have more ahead, and an interdigital corn. And here, we apply a special cream that will stimulate tissue regeneration, because we need this little hole to close up. And we will also apply a load. We applied the ointment and put on such a special thin plaster. The thing is very cool. Because when you stick it on, it doesn't go anywhere, it's very thin, the client doesn't feel it at all. And such things are also used after the tattoo. They seal the tattoo, allowing the person to keep it for a few days, even washing it, reducing the load during this time. It would be impossible without this seal in this situation. And the unloading is also given for home care, and it will need to be reinstalled. That is, once every few days, that it will slide off in any case. But we definitely cannot leave it without it, because otherwise this bunch of incomprehensibility will grow back in this place again. I'm just trying to pick some other words, more pleasant than the ones that come to my mind. Well, let's go down a bit, because the burr is not the only problem on these blades. There are also dry spots with cracks here. In this case, we will use a keratolytic under the bandage, because there is a lot of skin, and today, you won't believe it, we will work with a scalpel. I often get sent such videos, so don't switch off and you'll see how you can peel the skin off the heel like a potato skin. And here we have another corn, and it is located between 2 toes. This corn is usually called interdigital, and if another one appears against it, they are called kissing corns. In general, we decorate our weekdays with various funny names. And in this situation, we act exactly the same as with the first corn. We carefully cut it around. And for this, I can definitely say, you need to undergo training. It's not worth cutting just like that. Because if you cut too much, blood may go, and there will be a wound on the deep layers of the skin. And this is not good at all. Therefore, those who need it, all to the courses. I will leave the link to the place where we studied again. We study at Peshinka, it's in Moscow. To those who claim I don't live in Moscow because it's far away, you know, we live in Kazan and we still come for the training. Because learning is light, well, you know the rest. We cut everything out accurately once again. These specific pieces are intended only for such manipulations. We have a lot of different tools, because if you are a professional, you have everything you need. We are always trying something new, constantly buying. But there are some must-haves that I just recommend having. Here are some of them, particularly these small pieces. I'm doing the voiceover now. I can't remember what they're called, but I'll definitely add it to the description. Because for working with such beads, they are simply irreplaceable. A tweezer is definitely great for both the bead and grown nail. In general, 2 in 1. Here we also set the load and fix it on a special bandage. It is called Pehahaft. Such bandages, they are self-fixing and are sold in pharmacies or even in magnet cosmetics. If desired, you can purchase it. In general, we have loaded everything we could in all places. And now it's time to return to the 5-point. Well, for those who have such problems, who live in Kazan, we kindly ask you to come to our salon. We have a podiatry cabinet. You can sign up for such unusual services. Our 5th point has already been warmed up by this time, and we are ready to cut it. Now we scrape with a scraper. And many probably ask, why not with a hoof knife? Why not with a disc? Well, because in this situation, it seems faster and easier, and less dusty to work with this one-time, I emphasize, scraper. That is, these little knives, they are sold in packages already sterile. You change them and then just throw them away. That is, you utilize them. Because, of course, they are absolutely not suitable for another client. But it could work with any other device. We just think it would be faster this way. In the end, we will work it out and refine it. Well, there's also a big crack here that we can work on with the same pieces we used for the mosaic. Because all this is skin work, and we apply the tool in both this and the other case. I know it looks visually quite scary. And honestly, when I saw scalpel work for the first time in my life, I felt quite sick. It seemed to me that they were cutting a person from a person, and it was abnormal. But then, when you work a little longer and gain some experience, you start to see and understand where you can cut and saw, and where you cannot. After all, such dry dead skin has a completely different texture. It has a different shade, more yellowish. In general, with experience, this comes, so learn, practice, and everything will be. And please, do not take my videos for 100% free education, because I often encounter this. I want to say that this is not a panacea, and it is necessary to take courses. Well, to everyone who watched to the end, I want to say a big thank you. I wish these knives a speedy recovery. Bye-bye. Alina was with you. Take care of yourself and your nails and toes too.